medical surgical nursing 2 for the GNM second years. So in this we are going to discuss about the unit 5, that is nursing management of patient with the disorders of ear, nose and throat. So now we are going to discuss about the ear problems. So what are the problems can be involved related to the ear, and we are going to discuss about ear problems. So the in the last class we have seen about middle ear problems. So now we are going to discuss about the mastoiditis. So it is also one of the middle ear problem. So the mastoiditis, the infection, the definition, it is acute infection of the middle ear, is usually accompanied by an inflammatory reaction in the mucosa of adjacent mastoid process. So the mastoiditis means there is a infection of the middle ear. So the mastoiditis means mainly the mastoid bone become inflamed. So the mastoid bone can be situated behind the ear. So behind the ear the mastoid bone can be situated. So in this mastoid bone there is some spaces, air space can be located in the mastoid bone. So there is a in the mastoid bone there is a mastoid cells can be become inflamed, and there is a collection of fluid in the mastoid space. So because of this collection of fluid and there is a inflammation can be occur in the mastoid process. So it is called as mastoiditis. So the mastoiditis ante ఇది ఒక ఇన్ఫెక్షన్. సో మాస్టాయిడ్ బోన్ లోపల మాస్టాయిడ్ స్పేస్ అనేది ఉంటుంది. సో ఈ స్పేస్ లోపల ఫ్లూయిడ్ అనేది కలెక్షన్ అయ్యి ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. సో ద మాస్టాయిడ్ బోన్ అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ acute infection of the middle ear is usually accompanied by an inflammatory reaction in the mucosa of adjacent mastoid process. So with the repeated middle ear infection, the mastoid cavity becomes a significant part of the problem. So which increase the amount of drainage. So repeated infection to the middle ear, it causes the mastoiditis. So continuous repeated infection to the middle ear, if you are not treated the infection, the mastoiditis can be occur. So because of this mastoiditis there is a continuous drainage from the ear. So there is a pus formation or blood formation. The drainage can be occur from the middle ear. So because of this mastoiditis there is a inflammation or infection in the middle ear. Because of this mastoiditis there is a continuous drainage from the ear can be occur. So the mastoiditis అనేది మిడిల్ ఇయర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ని ఏదైతే ట్రీట్ చేయనట్లయితే, సరైన సమయంలో సరిగ్గా ట్రీట్మెంట్ తీసుకున్నట్లయితే కంటిన్యూస్గా ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ అనేది అటాక్ అవ్వడం వల్ల ఈ మాస్టాయిడిటిస్ అనేది వస్తుంది. సో దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ మాస్టాయిడిటిస్ వల్ల కంటిన్యూస్ డ్రైనేజ్, చెవిలో నుంచి పస్ ఫార్మేషన్ లేకపోతే బ్లడ్ అనేది కంటిన్యూస్గా డ్రైన్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. సో దీన్ని మాస్టాయిడిటిస్ అంటారు. సో the mastoiditis definition, it is an acute infection of the middle ear, is usually accompanied by an inflammatory reaction in the mucosa of adjacent mastoid process. So with the repeated middle ear infection, the mastoid cavity becomes a significant part of the problem and increasing the amount of drainage. So the next one is the causes. So the causes for the mastoiditis, it includes the repeated middle ear infection and streptococcus pneumonia. So if you are continuous, there is a infection can be occur in the middle ear. If you are not treated the infection to the middle ear, and there is a causes to the mastoiditis. So there is a repeated middle ear infection, one of the cause for the mastoiditis. And the next one is the streptococcus pneumoniae. So there is a bacteria also one of the cause for the mastoiditis, and there is a Haemophilus influenzae and Mycobacterium species. So these are all the bacteria and the Mycobacterium, and it is also causes the mastoiditis, and the causes includes repeated middle ear infection and Streptococcus pneumoniae and Haemophilus influenzae Mycobacterium species. So the next one is the pathophysiology for the mastoiditis. So the pathophysiology includes the because of the causative organism or because of the causes, it causes the inflammation in the middle ear. So because of this inflammation there is a edema of the tissues. So what are the tissues can be present adjacent side of the mastoid bone, and the tissues become swelled. So there is a inflammation can be occur because of the causative organism or causes, and it leads to the edema of tissues. So the mastoid bone adjacent tissues, there is a swelling can be occur in the tissues of the mastoid bone. So and it leads to the formation of pus within the mastoid cells. So because of the edema of the tissues, it leads to the pus formation in the mastoid cells. So there is a pus can be occur in the mastoid cells, and it leads to the pressure on the blood supply. Because of the pus formation in the mastoid cells, it leads to the pressure on the blood supply. So because of this pus formation, there is a pressure can be occur in the blood supply, and because of this pressure there is a decrease in blood supply to the tissues and the cells which are present around the mastoid bone. So because of this decrease in blood supply, what will happen? There is a necrosis can be occur. So necrosis means there is a death of the tissues. So it leads to the necrosis because of the pressure over the blood supply. What will happen means the blood supply can be reduced to the tissues, and it leads to the death of the tissues, and it is called as necrosis. So next one is it leads to the abscess. Abscess means there is a fluid collection can be present in the mastoid cells. So and it leads to the mastoiditis. So inflammation of the mastoid bone or infection of the mastoid cells. So there is a pathophysiology, infection ద్వారా కాసెస్ అంటే రిపీటెడ్ మిడిల్ ఇయర్ ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ వల్ల లేకపోతే స్ట్రెప్టోకోకస్ వల్ల అండ్ బ్యాక్టీరియా వల్ల ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్ అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది, వాపు అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. వాపు ఏర్పడడం వల్ల ఏమవుతుంది అంటే మాస్టాయిడ్ బోన్కి చుట్టుప్రక్కల ఏదైతే టిష్యూ కణజాలాలు ఉంటాయో అవి ఉబ్బుతాయి. సో దీనివల్ల ఏమవుతుందంటే దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ పస్ ఫార్మేషన్, అంటే పస్ అనేది చీము అనేది ద మాస్టాయిడ్ సెల్స్ ఏదైతే ఉంటాయో దాని లోపల చీము అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. దీనివల్ల ద బ్లడ్ సప్లై ప్రెషర్ అనేది ఈ చీము వల్ల బ్లడ్ సప్లై పైన ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యి బ్లడ్ సప్లై అనేది తగ్గిపోతుంది. దీనివల్ల బ్లడ్ సప్లై తగ్గిపోవడం వల్ల మాస్టాయిడ్ బోన్కి చుట్టుపక్కల ఏదైతే కణజాలాలు ఉంటాయో వాటికి బ్లడ్ సప్లై అనేది ఉండదు. దీనివల్ల అవి కణజాలాలు అనేవి చనిపోతాయి. సో దీనివల్ల abscess అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. సో దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ abscess మీన్స్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ కలెక్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లూయిడ్ ఇన్ ద మాస్టాయిడ్ సెల్స్ అండ్ ఇట్ లీడ్స్ టు ద మాస్టాయిడిటిస్. సో దెర్ ఇస్ ఏ ఇన్ఫ్లమేషన్ ఆర్ ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ ఇన్ ద మిడిల్ ఇయర్. సో దట్ ఈస్ మాస్టాయిడ్ bone. So the next one is the clinical manifestation. So the clinical manifestations includes the mastoid tenderness. So the patient may have the pain by touching itself. So the patient may have the tenderness and the protrusion of pinna. So pinna means the external ear. So there is a bulging of the pinna can be occur and there is a ear pain. So the patient may have the severe ear pain and the swelling can be present over the ear. So the clinical manifestations includes the tenderness and protrusion of the pinna and ear pain and swelling. So the next one is diagnostic evaluation includes the medical history and the physical examination. So the medical history can be included the patient has attacked any middle ear infection previously. So previously the patient having any middle ear infection or not, we should collect the medical history and any surgeries have done previously, and that also we can collect in the medical history. And there is a physical examination. So any swelling or any drainage can be occurring from the ear or not. By the physical examination we can observe the external ear. So the diagnostic evaluation includes the medical history and the physical examination and complete blood count. So next one is a CT scan. So the computer tomography can be done to diagnose the mastoid bone problems. So the mastoid bone become inflamed or any infection in the mastoid space, and there is any tumors can be present or not, we can identify by the CT scan and MRI scan. So the CT scan and MRI scan can be performed to know the any problems in the mastoid space and the any other fluid collection is present in the ear or not, we can identify by the CT scan and MRI scan. So the next one is the audiography. The next one is the audiography. So the audiography can be performed to know the hearing loss. So after the treatment, after the mastoiditis infection has cured, and audiography can be performed and to know the any hearing loss is present or not, we can identify by the audiography. So the diagnostic evaluation includes the medical history and the physical examination, complete blood count and CT scan and MRI scan and audiography. So the next one is the medical management. So the medical management includes the antibiotics. So the antibiotics can be includes the cephalosporin. So the antibiotics can be administered to reduce the infection and the inflammation, and there is a antipyretics. So because of this infection the patient may have the severe fever. So to reduce this, and we are administering the antipyretics to the patient. So the medical management includes the antibiotics and the antipyretics. The next one is the surgical management. So the surgical management includes the first one, mastoidectomy. So mastoidectomy means there is a surgical removal of the infected mastoid cells. So what are the mastoid cells can be infected in the mastoid bone that can be removed by the surgery. It is called as mastoidectomy. So ectomy means there is a removal of the mastoid cells which are present in the mastoid bone. So there is a fluid filled mastoid cells can be removed by the surgery. It is called as mastoidectomy. And the next one is the myringotomy. So the myringotomy, there is an incision can be made into the middle ear and the suctioning tube can be inserted through the incision, and by this suction the excessive fluid can be which are present in the middle ear that can be drained by the catheter in the myringotomy. So the myringotomy means there is a incision can be made in the middle ear, and by this incision the suctioning catheter can be inserted into the ear to drain the excessive fluid from the middle ear. It is called as myringotomy. And the next one is the tympanostomy. So the tympanostomy same like myringotomy, and the tube can be inserted into the middle ear to drain the fluid from the middle ear. So after the surgery, the antibiotic ear drops can be prescribed to the patient. So the surgical management includes the mastoidectomy and myringotomy and tympanostomy. So the next one is nursing management. So the nursing management includes the pre-operative care and the post-operative care. So before the surgery the nurse has to be what has to be do, and after the surgery the nurse what are the care has to be given to the patient. Now we are going to discuss. So the pre-operative management. So pre-operative, before the surgery what nurse has to be do. So pre-operatively the audiogram. So pre-operative only, before the surgery only audiogram has to be done. So because to know the any hearing problems before the surgery, and we should know by the audiogram. So audiogram can be performed to know the hearing loss before the surgery. So the next one is a comfortable position. So the patient may have the earache. So according to that patient condition we should provide the comfortable position to the patient. And next one is administer the antibiotics. So before the surgery the nurse has to be administered the medications as prescribed by the physician. So according to the physician order the nurse has to be provide the pre-operative medications to the patient. And the next one is teach the patient and the family members about the surgery. So after the surgery what are the care has to be take, care has to be take, and how we should take and everything the nurse has to be explained to the patient and the family members about the pre-operative care and the post-operative care. And the next one is instruct the patient not to blow nose, which causes nasopharyngeal secretion. So because there is a secretions can be present in the middle ear, if you are blowing on the nose means what will happen, the secretions come from the ear to the nose. So we should avoid this, and we should advise the patient to not to blow on the nose. So it is about the pre-operative care. Pre-operatively the nurse has to be do for the first audiogram. And the next one is comfortable position, and the next one is administer the antibiotics, and the next one is teach the patient and the family members about the post-operative care and the pre-operative care. And next one is instruct the patient not to blow on the nose. So because blowing on the nose what will happen, the secretions which are present in the middle ear it can be coming into the nose. So to avoid this, and we should not blow on the nose. And the next one is post-operative care. So after the surgery the nurse has to be provide the post-operative care to the patient. So the post-operative care includes the nurse has to be provide the 24 hours bed rest to the patient. So after the surgery the nurse has to be provide the 24 hours bed rest, and there is a comfortable position. So after the surgery, and the surgery side should be upside and another normal side on the patient should be lie on the opposite side of the surgical ear. So the surgery, after the surgery the ear should be kept upside, and the normal ear side the patient has to be lie on the bed. So the comfortable position has to be provided, and the assist patient for ambulation. So after the surgery the patient may have the dizziness or the vertigo. So because of this dizziness the patient may fall. So to avoid this, the nurse has to be assist for the ambulation to reduce the vertigo and the dizziness. And next one is elevate head of the bed. So after the surgery the nurse has to be elevate the head end of the bed. So because to reduce the pressure and to reduce the swelling over the surgical ear. So by to elevate the head of the bed to reduce the pressure and to reduce the swelling over the surgical ear. And the next one is keep the ear dry for 4 to 6 weeks. So after the surgery we should avoid the water into the ear. So we should avoid the water into the ear, and we should keep the ear dry for 4 to 6 weeks after the surgery. So after the surgery 4 to 6 weeks the ear should be clean and become dry. And the next one is dressing has to be done. So while dressing the antiseptic techniques can be maintained and to reduce the infection and to prevent the cross infection. So the dressing has to be done. So it is about the post-operative care. It includes the 24 hours bed rest and the comfortable position and assist patient for ambulation because patient may have the vertigo and dizziness. And there is an elevate head end of the bed and keep ear dry for 4 to 6 weeks and the dressing can be done, and this is the post-operative care. So it completes the mastoiditis